Hey everyone, Cosmos here from Dollar Games. In this video we're going to be doing a Titan Temple. I've been asked a couple of times to do that, so that's what I'm going to demonstrate. And actually I was going to show you my normal routine, but yesterday I tested something new and it worked out really well, so I'm going to explain you both my previous routine, attack sequence, and as well as the new one. So first of all, willpower or Udemon. I prefer to go with Udemon, Bell Oracle, because it puts Damnation, which I found helps me much more than if I have willpower. It's a little bit more like tanky. It dies a little bit slower, but it still dies fast. So, and I haven't really, it does more damage, but I haven't really found it to be useful. So I'm sticking with Battle Oracle, and that's what I recommend everyone as well, to use the Damnation of the Battle Oracle, and then he will cast it and then he will die. Even though you put, for example, Moon Guardian, that's still not enough to protect him. He is going to die, but you just need him to cast that that Damnation, and that's also why you should give him only the Damnation, so he does nothing else, because he's gonna die right after casting it. So that's the thing. So second one is so that's about the willpower or Udemon and which type of Udemon. So second thing is about Titans. This is the, let me see, yeah, this is the combo that I use for that battle. The first Moon Guardian is not really for me. It's to protect the Battle Oracle as much as possible right in the beginning. He will still die, like I mentioned, but that's the Moon Guardian is for him. Now also normally you want to get into Sylph mode as fast as possible, but you do not want to put that into the first slot, because if there will be knights, there's a chance that they will intercept you. Sorry, not intercept, but what was the name of the skill? I forget already. Subdue you, and subdue will reduce awakening points by 1,000 approximately. And so if you put if you raise your awakening points on turn 1, they will subdue you, and then there will be a waste of a Titan. So that's why you have it on slot 2 to get that awakening point up and go to Sylph mode straight away. If they have subdue, they will use it in the first turn. I don't know why, it's just the way they're programmed. If they have it, they'll use it. So that's why the slot 2 for that. Then of course comes Celestial Strength, because at this point I'm going to do Whirlwind here, and then I'm gonna go to Sylph mode here, and the Celestial Strength is of course to help me do more damage in Sylph mode. The healings and protections I'm putting as far as I can, because, and that's still too little. Like if I would unlock more slots, I would put them a bit further down the road, because I will need healing, I will need protection, but really I have time before I need that protection. Usually around this time, around turn 4 or 5, they will go to Sylph mode, and they will put all kind of debuffs on you, and that's when their damage could multiply, and that's when the protections might be needed. That's for my character specifically. If you have a weaker character, you might consider bringing that up, like for example like that. Alright, this and this is not interesting, so that's Titans. Skills, I'm gonna hit with Gash, that's gonna trigger the Moon Titan. Then I'm gonna do Whirlwind and go to Sylph mode. And then my Odin is my main Sylph. It's got 692,000 battle rating, which you can see over here. And that's what I was using. So I would go to Sylph mode, I would do Devour Soul, and then I would hit him with Endless Engulf as much as possible. This is really the best skill to hit him with, because it's a strong AoE. I use the Apocalypse Judgment only if there's 1 or 2 guys, otherwise I don't like to use it, because it reduces awakening points by 500 and there are 8 enemies. So what I do instead is I either wait simply, not to lose too much awakening points, or I do some protections like a Heavenly Body, or I heal myself if necessary. if there is 10 seconds, no, 10, 8, 9 seconds left until the Endless Engulf, what I could do is I could wait 4 seconds, then cast my Brutality rune. That will buy me some time, and then wait another 4 or 5 seconds and cast the Endless Engulf together with the Brutality rune. That's really effective, and that's why I have these two runes. So that's the explanation of the setup. Now what I will show you is I will show you my Thor, which is much weaker. So he's got much worse equipment. They're nothing in, no divinities in the sockets. He's got 371,000 bell rating. So he is more than 2 times weaker than my Odin. But just for the heck of it, I tried using him and it worked out so much better than Odin. And the reason for that is because this skill, Delphic Deadly Kiss, 315%. Odin's looks stronger at Endless Engulf looks stronger at 360%. Plus the Odin himself is much stronger. So, but for some reason this one worked better. And the reason why this one worked better is 2 reasons. One, the Thor is giving 5% increased attack. That's one. 2 is instead of casting Devour Soul, what I do is I cast Vulcan's Blessing. Now Vulcan's Blessing is going to increase the damage by 60%, and this happens at the same time as the Celestial Strength Titan, so another 100% damage from crit, and then you hit them with a Deadly Kiss, and it hurts them a lot. Then he has passives. Yes, what makes him hit a lot harder, even without those things that I mentioned. So what makes Deadly Kiss hit harder than Odin's Endless Engulf, even though the percentage here is better, is because the Thor, he gets buffed up. Where is it? Unstable Voltage. Every time he gets hit, he gets increased damage dealt by 5% when taking damage, which lasts for 2 turns. Because there are 8 enemies and they're hitting you like crazy, you have this on constantly. So Thor gets 50% increase in damage all the time, every turn. In addition to his other passives, which is 15% here, that's for damage reduction. So it's really an increased amount of damage. So I'm going to show you the Thor performance now. It goes quite fast. I was surprised myself. I didn't think that it would be such a big difference. Now you do sacrifice, by the way, fast way of going to Outlands is wherever you are, you open the devotion window and you click on the Outland. You don't have to walk in the town. They removed the icon, I don't know why, but and yeah, this is a fast way of going to it. So now I'm gonna take the Thor. I'm not even gonna bother to give sylphs and so on. Like, your demon is gonna die. No matter what you give him, he's gonna die. So I'm not paying attention to him at all. So all I have to do is I have to check that my skills are correct, that I have the Brutality rune. I don't use the healing rune so much. Sometimes I use it, but not so much. The Brutality is important, especially if you use Odin. But for Thor, I didn't need to use it. Only in a couple of tough cases I needed it. And then you need to make sure that your Titans are correct. That's very important. And then you can start. So my bell rating is now showing at 18.5 because I've changed my configuration. Otherwise I have higher, but bell rating for me doesn't matter. So what I mean is it's much more important that you use the correct tools for whatever you're doing, rather than trying to maximize bell rating. So alright, on a normal day I usually just do 5. I don't do all the 8 attempts just to save time, because the rewards increase higher and higher, and then the last 3 it starts with the lower rewards. But just for the sake of this video, I'll do the best I can. So here we go. Challenge. I'm lagging a little bit today, so if it's a little bit slow, I don't know. Seems okay. Alright, there is the moon. The damnation is gonna come. Sometimes I win right here. if I get lucky with a damage multiplier passive from the knight. Alright, that really weakens him, and this is the turn where I try to kill as much as I can, because if they survive this attack, then it goes to the second round, let's call it. Alright, so here I'm just going to use a normal attack because they're almost dead. And the first, second stages are very easy for me, but then it gets really hard. So we're going to hit them really hard with that. That's another thing, if there's a couple of enemies, or if they constantly heal themselves, these two spells, the Roaring Lion and the Delphic Thunder Wave, really help to pick them one at a time. And that's something Odin is not really good at doing. Alright, let's go with the next one. There's the moon, there's the Bell Oracle putting Damnation. He barely survives, as you can see. They clean out the whole Moon Titan and then kill him in one shot afterwards. Alright, this time they survived it. So now we're gonna go to Sylph mode to kill them. So I'm gonna power up because they're at a decent amount of health, so I don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna power up with Vulcan's Blessing. I already have the crit damage. They have all kind of debuffs on me, which is very dangerous, so I need to kill them before they kill me. There we go. That should take them out. It's a really strong attack and beautiful attack as well. There you go. Really awesome attack. And bear in mind, I haven't put much into this story. As I showed you, it's very low bell rating for today's, in relation to the numbers people have today. He has no equipment, no divinity souls, nothing. He's just the right tool for this job. But you saw that they actually hurt me quite well. And that was the result of all these debuffs that they are putting, which is increasing my damage received or their damage dealt. And that's the dangerous part. The Thor is actually very bad at defense. Odin wouldn't have a problem with that. If I had Odin, I would have taken less damage, I would have protected myself. And Odin is something that I can trust to go into a longer battle, like on the 4th or 5th stage. Those are tough battles, but somehow I managed it with Thor, so we'll see today if I can do it. Here goes the strong attack that should clean them all out. Do they have a healer? See, even that guy survived, so we're gonna finish him off with a really powerful attack. So this is together with a damage increase from the Titan, 33 million damage. Alright, so these I would say were the easy ones. At least I'm always confident not to have trouble with these. Then I start having trouble with 4 and 5. Sometimes it's easy, but usually it's tough. Especially the 5th one. And if they have healers, like 4 sea witches or something. Now sometimes they manage to kill Bell Oracle at these levels, but not this time, so I can benefit from the damnation. Alright, here the whirlwind didn't really hurt them, they're much tougher. So I need to get into Sylph mode, but they reduced my awakening points. And this is a very dangerous point. If they have mages on the enemy side, all mages have the ability to reduce your awakening points when they attack. And if they do that 1, 2, 3 times, you're in big danger if they go to Sylph mode before you. That's really dangerous. So they're already... this time they managed to stop me once, and once is not so dangerous. But sometimes they manage to stop you 2, 3 times, and they don't let you to go to the Sylph mode, and then you're in huge trouble. Alright, let's see if they survive this attack. Here it comes. Really strong damage. They did not survive that one. It's a really powerful combination, and for those who are asking why I'm not using Brutality Rune, is because it will force me to lose one more turn, and I cannot afford it. As it is, I'm already attacking too late. I'd prefer to attack them earlier, or as early as possible. Okay, let's see. Luckily there are no healers, or there's one healer there. It's hiding behind Angel. Those healers are usually nasty, and they can take a lot of damage as well. So here we have an archer, knight, archer, archer, so that will make it easier for me. As I mentioned, for me the most dangerous are mages, because they can reduce your awakening points and block you from entering stealth mode. Alright, here we go. I have the Celestial. They're putting various debuffs on me, but I'm taking the Vulcan Blessing and going for the Deadly Kiss as fast as I can. There's only one of them going into stealth mode, so this is looking really good. They're at half life. Their Sea Witch is not healed, it hasn't healed them, so it's looking... oh, there it is. As I said it, she did a group heal. So let's see if they survive it. Okay, some survived it, so I'm gonna go with the single attacks to pick them off one at a time. But after I use up my attacks, I'm really vulnerable, because I have nothing else. Thor has nothing else. And there's really long waiting times. So he's like a one-shot guy. But luckily that's enough to get the job done. But you see right now I can do nothing else than auto attack. I can just auto attack. I'm gonna take the damage increase. I'm gonna take a heal rune because he's casting a strong attack. My defenses are bad, but my attack is superior. We're gonna finish him with the Deadly Kiss. There you go. Now, just for curiosity's sake, I'll switch to Odin and show you the routine on with Odin for the first three, because I don't have more, so we have 3 more to go, so we can show it on Odin. It plays slower, safer, that's what I'd call it, even though he is more than 2 times powerful than Thor. I mean my Odin, because my Odin is has more than 2 times the battle rating of my Thor. Okay, so here was the example where my passive kicked in, and that's the passive from the knights, where you have a chance to let me see the text. 20% chance that your damage will be increased significantly. So if that kicks in on exactly that moment, not other moments, but exactly, it has to kick in at exactly that moment when I'm casting Whirlwind, then it's a wipeout. Because at that point I have my damnation from the Oracle, and they are the weakest because they don't have any beneficial passives on them, or buffs, or I don't know what to call them, whatever. Well, I managed to take one guy out. They have 2 healers, is it? No, 1 healer. I can't see very well, but it's looking good. So this first attack, I do it just because I have nothing else to do. If they have 4 or 5 damnations on me, then I do Heavenly Body instead, because their damage is multiplied too much if they do that. And by damnation, I don't mean only damnation, I mean any skills which they cast on you, any debuffs which they cast on you, which will increase their damage. If that happens and you're using Odin, go for protection, play safe, kill him on the damage increase on the timer. Alright, as you can see, even on this second stage, the Thor didn't have any problem whatsoever. It was a one-shot, everybody killed. But Odin is already slow on this stage. So you can imagine that he is even slower on the higher stages. By slow, I mean he's not managing to kill them. And then they heal. then he hits them more with the endless engulf, then they heal, and that goes on until like percentage 200%, 250%, and assuming your defenses can take their damage. It can go quite a lot, especially if they have 2-3 sea witches. This is what I mean by the debuffs. All of these things they are putting on me, it's increasing the damage I receive, or all kind of nasty things. And this was much more dangerous when they had Q-Demons, because then they had 4 Bell Oracles casting 4 Damnations. That was a disaster. But with willpowers, they don't have too much to put on you, so it's safer, although the willpowers do more damage and they're tougher to kill. So there you go. There is the rain dance from Frigga, but apparently I managed to stop her. And here I can use a brutality rune because the endless engulf is not ready. Then it's ready and I will use it, and that will hopefully kill them. But usually the willpowers survive. They're tougher than the main characters, which is weird. There, like you saw, main character died, willpower survived even with 50% health. So we gotta cut him down. You see, even with the Apocalypse Judgment, he did only 3 million damage on that willpower. Of course it was blocked, so let's count it 6 million. But the Thor was hitting with 30-40 million. That's a totally different range of damage. Alright, and that's it. That's how I do Titan Temple. So since the willpowers, it did become tougher, it will still become tougher because of the relics, because all these top people are getting higher and higher and higher, and I think they're growing faster than we are. By we I mean the gap between cashers and non-cashers. So I think the cashers are growing faster, and now, for example, in the tomorrow's events, they're already giving keys of trial in Balin events, and so that will allow cashers to get strong artifacts faster. But that's kind of normal. Every year it's like that, and there are people who complain about it, and there are people like me who always find a way. What's the best way to solve, to do the dungeon? Find a way and enjoy the game. So I don't well, I think everybody is free to complain if they wish to do so. I'm not going to complain to the cashers. On the contrary, I'm going to say thank you to the cashers, because they pay for everything, for the game to continue running, for everybody to enjoy. But that said, you have to find a way to deal with it. So I'm at approximately, with Odin I'm at 19, with Thor I was at 18.5 million bell rating. So if you're at around 18 million bell rating, you should not be complaining about Titan Temple. I think if you're not managing to pass it, then you're doing something wrong. Then try different things, try different strategies. If you are lower bell rating, then you should be able to do at least the lower stages. And as you noticed, I didn't use any of the special powers. So if I didn't use any of the special powers at 18, then with the special powers at say 15, you should be able to do a bunch of stages for sure. So, and I did 8 stages, while I think 5 is enough, because the reward goes up to 5 and then it drops down to very little again for the 6, because it's 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and so on. So the only problem is very low bell rating players. I don't know what to advise them, because I also have tried on an account with low bell rating, let's say below 10 million. They get killed with a couple of hits. So what I would suggest is don't get upset about it. Just accept that you cannot do it right now, and get stronger via other means. And right now, because they introduced the relic system, that's going to allow you to get millions of bell rating really fast, which will allow you to do Titan Temple. So that's what I would suggest. do dimensions, get stronger, collect bound balance, and get mounts from by using the bound balance on, for example, the where is it? The rider's chest. Where is it? I'm blind. There, rider's chest. Use only the left side and do 10 so that you get one guaranteed mount. It could be a bad one, but it could be a good one. So, and just get stronger and get stronger and get stronger, and once you're at around 15 million battle rating, which is not so hard to get to if you're active every day, if you're doing all the different things, if you're doing all the hot events and doing all the dungeons, and have a nice guild who helps you do different weekly dungeons and so forth. Yeah, you can do it. It's totally doable. I would even say that right now the lower or the weaker players, newbies, you know, not so good players and so forth, they're having a much easier time than we had when I started playing the game. You could go and see some of my older videos, and we were doing 200 damage, and then we tried to increase it from 200 to 220 to 240. I mean, we were down at the low end. Now we're, you know, you can open an account and become several million battle rating very quickly. So don't complain, enjoy the game, learn, play smarter. If your strategy doesn't work, try a new one. If that doesn't work, try asking people what strategy they're using, watch my videos, read my articles. I share a ton of information. So that's it, you guys. That was a long enough video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do click on like and subscribe and share with friends. My blog is at wartune.dollgames.com. If you want to play short games for free, go to dollgames.com. If you can, support, because it's a lot of work and very little return. So if you can support via Patreon, all the links are in the description of the video. Thanks for watching and have a very nice day.